I'm reporter Abby Kousouris here on scene in Summerbrook Circle in Athens, Georgia, where we do know that there was an officer-involved shooting. The robbery happened outside of an ATM, much like this one. Now, you see ATM machines everywhere nowadays, but what you don't see are the armored cars that deliver cash to them. I'm outside of the Athens-Clarke County Police Department, where earlier today, Grady News Source received information on previous incidents that Nicholas Head was involved in. Now, there were 41 total incidents on that report. What they show is that he had a history of domestic abuse and violence. These are the 41 incident reports that Grady News Source received this morning regarding Nicholas Head, a man who the Athens-Clarke County Police Department says was involved in a shooting late on Monday night. Originally, police were called to the residence on Monday early in the morning about a domestic violence dispute. The Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation has pledged to match donations up to $10,000 for nonprofit organizations. Your $100 donation turns into $2. I'm in front of the UGA Arch right now, where earlier today I talked to an Iranian student whose mom felt the shockwaves of that earthquake. Now, she wants to go home and check in on her family to make sure that they're okay, but the distance is daunting, and the fear of not being let into the country is making that a harder decision for her.
The thing I wanted to know is to know whether or not my family are safe.
For Mohsin Moheni and his wife Neda Kahinajad, WorldFest couldn't have come at a better time. Today is about celebrating different cultures, bringing people together. Last night was a very different story for them.
I mean, thanks to internet and all these different social networks, it's very easy to get in touch with family back in Iran.
They're all safe. They say they are feeling guilty they are unable to travel to their loved ones.
I can't really do anything. When I get up and I hear something bad, it really chills me that I'm not there.
Moheni and Kahinajad said that their family was in southeastern Iran, which is far off of this map. The epicenter of the earthquake occurred close to the Iraq-Iran border near the city of Baghdad. Now, reports say that waves have been felt as far away as the country of Syria. While the celebration of cultures continues for students, Semena Porhazan can't help but laugh through her pain, knowing that her mother and cousin are in Iraq. They each felt the impact of the earthquake. She's a little shaken. She wants to visit them, but she knows she can't.
Because of all the visa and all the problems and travel ban, I can't go back to my country, because if I go, I don't know if they let me to come back or not. So whatever happened to my family, I should stay here, and it's so stressful.
Moheni told me today that it's because of technology like this that makes it easier for him to contact his family members in Iran. Back to you guys at the desk. Business owner Len Culbertson could have been the one.
I hate that I don't have time to go and vote.
The one vote that could have made the difference in a race where the winner won by one vote. But Culbertson was busy at his store.
Or really didn't have time to go down there.
One vote. The winner of the race understands its power.
I don't think anyone who voted for either or me or for Ms. Hembry came away thinking that their vote didn't matter.
Farmer even said his wife could have been the one, and not in a romantic way.
My wife and I, we always vote early and make a lunch date out of it. Something had come up, or if she had, had a lunch date with somebody else, I wouldn't have won.
If you still don't believe in the power of one, look at the Georgia football team. Right now, they're ranked #1, but 1 point in the game against Notre Dame could have cost them their undefeated season. Savannah Hembry, Farmer's opponent, said she decided to run last minute, but she wants people to realize
when people say my vote doesn't matter, your voice is what you're silencing then.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Her dogs usually accompany Allison Wright on this route. It's how she first became aware of this.
This one's a little bit drier. Let's see if we can get the date on this one. I mean, so the chances are all these sales are over now anyway. I can't even see the date.
Bundles of printed advertising circulars. They're supposed to be delivered to people's rights of ways, like a public sidewalk. Instead, they wind up here, on lawns, under trees, on roadways, instead of in a recycling bin. Now, normally if you found a piece of recyclable paper like this one, you could just put it in a recycling bin. However, after a period of time, paper starts to rot and smell, and people won't want to put it in a recycling bin, much less touch it. That's why last month, Wright brought a bag of the papers she had collected to the Athens Board of Commissioners meeting.
And so when I had this collection of them, I decided that I was going to just do it every month and see if I couldn't get some attention to the topic and maybe get it resolved.
Wright says she is committed to finding a fair solution, even if it means bending over backwards. Callie Moore's nurses know that fashion is important to her.
Oh, we need to get a mirror and show you what you look like.
Callie Moore is an Instagram starlet, and she loves to post on Facebook.
All right, it's on Insta.
But fashion and Facebook aren't everything in Callie's life. Callie has cerebral palsy. Her life is 24-hour nursing care from people like Cassidy Dickerson. It's feeding tubes and breathing machines. And if Graham Cassidy healthcare reform passes, it could mean leaving the people who care for her.
Callie is the kind of person who, without home and community-based services like her nursing services, would not be able to live at home. Actually, without the medicines and the G-tube and the other medical interventions that you've had, you wouldn't be living anywhere, would you, Callie?
Nurses like Cassidy care for Callie when her mom is working to pay for medical bills.
You don't always see the impact, but when you do, it's really good to think, wow, I did something. I helped her.
U.S. senators will vote Saturday whether to approve the Graham Cassidy bill that could leave Callie and many other disabled people without necessary Medicare waivers, making it harder on the Moore family and jeopardizing Callie's fairy tale world. We reached out to Senators Johnny Isakson and David Perdue, but they did not comment. Trumpet player Joel Garcia will be playing a different tune at the UGA Kentucky game, the battle hymn of the Bulldog Nation. I met Garcia at the Redcoat Band's practice field, where he feels comfortable playing his trumpet.
Honestly, it's really scary trying to be that idol, but also at the same time, it's one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done, to know that I'm up there playing something that's been passed on for many, many years. It's just a tradition, and being part of that great tradition just makes me feel like I'm contributing to the Bulldog Nation.
This will be Garcia's 5th time playing in Sanford Stadium. He says he deals with the pressure by wearing sunglasses and closing his eyes. Now, until the Kentucky game on November 18th, Garcia will have time to catch his breath. Abby Kousouris, Grady News Source.